yet another how-to cooking video here on Life Choices. I'm your host, the Birdman, and this afternoon we're going to be doing a hamburger recipe. If you want to make some burgers for your friends, this is a very easy recipe that we're going to put together. Handful of ingredients. We're going to go through the list of them right now, and then we're going to show you how we put it together, make the burger, and then we're going to cook it off and we'll present it for you. So what I have here to make the burger a little more flavorful, we have 2 pounds of ground beef, and then we have 2 pounds of ground bison, followed with 1 pound of ground lamb. I always add in some mixed cheese. That's going to make the burger itself a little more gooier and adds, obviously the flavor of the different cheeses. I have 2 seasonings here. I have a bourbon seasoning, and I have a honey maple sugar dried seasoning as well to add more elements to it. Of course, salt and pepper. I also add a little bit of, and forgive me if I don't say it correctly, Worcestershire sauce, a little grainy mustard for a mustard flavor, and oddly enough, you might not ever think to do this with your meat, but a little bit of lemon juice. It adds another depth of flavor to your hamburger. Of course, when you're making a hamburger patty, you need to do something to actually bind it together. So there's multiple different ways to bind hamburger meat. I use 2 in this recipe. I use both breadcrumbs as well as a couple whole eggs. This way, when you do when you mix it all together, it'll be sticky. It'll be like nice and together when you mold it. And then during the cooking procedure, obviously the egg cooks while it's going through the meat, and it actually just kind of holds everything together for you. So most of you would probably be a little shocked as to the level of different flavors, different ingredients that are going into the hamburger. But I promise you, if you do this recipe, your guests will literally say to you, it's probably the best hamburger they've ever actually eaten. For yourself, it's always good to have a pair of gloves because we are going to kind of get in there with the meat and whatnot. So we're just going to, put in all the different meats together. Kind of mix that up a little bit first, just kind of turn it around a bit. Okay, you want to make sure you have a large enough bowl to hold everything that you're going to do, so it's always good to venture on the side of larger than smaller just in case. So first I'm going to just put in the seasonings. You don't want to go too heavy with the seasonings because you don't want the burger to become too salty. And then of course, we're just gonna put in just a pinch, more of the salt, because the seasonings do have a fair bit of salt content in them. A little bit of pepper for a little bit more of a spice in there, and then all of the cheese. We're gonna mix all that up nice and good. Now for the lemon juice, I'm only gonna put a couple of dashes in here. Maybe a handful, 5 or 7 to 15. I'm gonna put some of this in here again. This is gonna add a little bit more of a spice to it, a little bit of a different level. And then with the grainy mustard, of course you don't have to do this if anyone has a mustard seed allergy or just doesn't like mustard in it. Obviously you could omit any of the ingredients. We're gonna go, 3 nice sized teaspoons of the mustard. We're going to sprinkle in the breadcrumbs, and then we're going to kind of somewhat separate the eggs onto 2 different sides. And now you have a big bowl of all your ingredients here, and now we're going to just take our time, mix it all up. And you really want to take your time and mix it up. You want to kind of meld those ingredients all together, so that every patty is going to have a little bit of everything for you. So now that we have all the ingredients mixed together for our ground meat, we're just going to take, a fair amount out, nice ball size, and we're just going to pat it down and just kind of using the side of one hand and the thumb of the other, you just kind of rotate it around in this kind of motion, and then you can just pat it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, just depending on how big or thin or thick of a patty you actually want. And then, you know, this is what we're gonna have as our burger once it's cooked. Now that we have the burger patty ready to be barbecued or pan fried, we're gonna pan fry it today. We also have a bun here ready to go. So what I've done is I've taken the bun and I've buttered the inside of it, and I've even buttered a little bit of the top. So what we're gonna do once the pan is hot enough, I'm just going to put this in the pan and kind of toast the bun a little bit for presentation reasons, as well as I feel like most people do enjoy a nice toasted bun with their burger patty. So frying pan nice and hot, and we're just going to place the bun with the buttered side down, obviously first, inside. You can kind of hear the sizzling aspect of it. As you can see there, bottom bun is toasted. Top bun is toasted. We're just going to toast the top of it, kind of give it a little bit of a coloring. Hamburger patty, when you put it on a barbecue or in a frying pan, what you can do is take one finger and just push a dimple inside the center of the burger. What this is supposed to do is help prevent the ballooning of the patty, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. When cooking hamburgers, they tend to all of a sudden become these very big fat, almost meatballs. We're going to let that cook for a while. We're going to turn the fan on, and we will be back shortly when the hamburger is finished. So we have our hamburger patty finished here off of the frying pan, and we have our toasted burger bun. As you can see with the patty, it is a bit caramelized on the top and bottom due to the sugars that were in the different ingredients. If you don't add the Worcestershire or the brown sugar bourbon, these items will darken the patty while you cook it. So if you don't want that effect, then just, omit those ingredients. This is a very simple hamburger recipe. If you want, you can always add cheese, lettuce, tomato, sauerkraut, whatever toppings you feel comfortable with for your guests. Usually we would just set them up as a buffet style, and they can help themselves to the toppings that they prefer. Maybe some pickles on the side. That's one of my favorites. This afternoon, I just have some beet sprouts. I'm a big fan of them, and adding that to the burger just gives it another little addition, making it look colorful. And here we go. Hamburger, done simple, done easy, done quickly. Remember, enjoy your cooking, have your friends over, surprise them with your new talents. If you have any questions for us, please email us at lifechoices.com. And thank you very much for tuning in to another how-to cooking video here with me, the Birdman. We'll see you next time. And don't forget, it's your move.